Hi students, this is 6th class topic magnetism, and all of you are familiar with magnets already. You have been playing it with because it is fun to see the magnets attract some objects and one magnet and another magnet repel each other in one direction. And if you change the direction, then one magnet and another magnet attract each other. So all of that is fun to play. And this magnetism, the word magnet actually comes from a place called Magnesia. It's a old name of some place in Greece where the shepherds, when they used to go on a walk along with those their sheep, the edge of the shepherd's stick used to be made of metal just to make the sounds on some rocks. So when they used to walk, suddenly they were surprised to see that sometimes their stick, which has some metal edge, is attracted to some stones, some mysterious stones lying around. To some stones and rocks, the knob of the stick is attracted towards them. So they tried to pull it off. Since the rocks are bigger, it was difficult to pull it. They were quite shocked by it. And later on, much detailed study, they have written all the properties of these rocks and named such rocks as magnets. This word comes from the place magnet. So they have taken it magnets. So now the magnets, as you know, whether it is a natural one, which is the rocks that you have seen in those forests in Greece, or the ones which are man-made that you see in different shapes when you play. The U-shaped magnets you might have seen, which are called a horseshoe magnet. And just you might have seen the cuboid shape or the rectangular shape one. Those are called bar magnets. Different shapes and sizes, and the ones you commonly play with, they are oval shape also. So these are clearly made into different shapes that you play with along, and these are called artificial magnets because we have made it. And the stones experienced by those shepherds in Magnesia, those are the natural magnets. And this one is called horseshoe magnet because this is exactly in the shape of the shoe of the horse. Horse have the shoes made of metal so that it will be protecting their legs. So it is exactly designed in the shape of the hoof of the horse. The toes of the horse we call them as hoof, and the hoof is exactly in this shape. So the magnet is also made in this shape. So this is called horseshoe magnet. And horseshoe magnets are important for some experiments, and these are important for certain other type experiments because the properties are different. We'll see in detail what is about these properties later. And every magnet let us say this is one side, this is the second. This is one end of the magnet, this is the second end. Same for this one end and second end. And if you ever bring two magnets close to each other, and if you observe them repelling, then in case if they are repelling, you turn this magnet around. This magnet is kept the same and this one is turned around. Now you observe that they attract. So if you change the direction of the magnet, in one direction it will repel, another direction it will attract. So they try to give the name of the directions which are repelling and attracting. So what they name it as north and south poles. I'll tell you why they are named north and south later. Observe. Same poles repel. This is called north pole, this is called south pole. Same poles repel, opposite poles or different poles will attract. And one more thing, just because now this magnet has north and south, it doesn't mean that if you cut the magnet you will have north pole and south pole separate. That is impossible. What happens is, if you cut the magnet in half, now this will become two parts. Here you have north, this will become south, and after cutting, since you have south this side, this will become north. So now this one magnet is broken into two magnets if you cut it. This is north south and again north south. So it's never possible to cut a magnet and get a north pole and south pole separately. Always if you try to cut it, then what happens is, here you will get new pole again. So every magnet will have north pole and south pole compulsory. This is the most fundamental property of the magnet. And coming to why we have named it north and south, for that we have to see what is a magnetic compass. Now all of you might be familiar with the magnetic compass. Sometimes it is along with the keychains. It shows the direction north of the earth. So as you know, in the earth and in every map, you have these directions: north, east, south and west. So all these directions you have in a map, and these directions are for mapping the surface of the earth. Now when you have a magnet that is tied to a string, you just have some magnet, you tie it with a string and you are holding it. And then you will observe that the magnet will move somewhat left and right, and it finally will adjust in one position. Okay? And when it exerts in and moves in one position, the position to where it is facing, let us say this is north and this is south, you named it. Okay. Now, wherever this one faces will be the south of the earth. Okay, the magnet is suspended by a string and you are holding it. First the magnet moves here and there, it will oscillate and set in a one particular position. And the north of the magnet will be attracted to south of the earth, because as I said before, north of one magnet will attract south of another magnet, and north of one magnet will repel the north of another magnet. Between same poles there is repulsion. Between opposite poles there is attraction. Now, the north of this magnet is pointing towards the south of the earth when you hold it like this. That means north and south are attracted. What it says to you is that earth is a huge magnet, because the south of the earth is attracted to north of the magnet. The south of the earth is attracted to north of the magnet, which means the earth's south and the magnet's north are attracting. What it says, that earth is a huge magnet. You are above earth, you are holding the magnet by a string. Now how the magnet will tilt? Think about it. See, the south will be attracted to north, therefore now the magnet will tilt like this. Because if it tilts like this, the north will come down, south will go up. So this way, when in olden days, the people moving in the ship, the water, the ocean is very huge. They don't know which direction they are traveling properly. So if they want to navigate, or if they want to move from one place to another place, they made use of this magnet to find the direction. Using this magnet, it's possible to know whether you are moving north and south. And if north and south is identified, obviously you can identify east and west. So this is how a magnetic compass works. And one more interesting thing, the north of the magnet will face the south of the earth. And in magnetic compass, we put a dot to identify the difference between north and south.